Snoopy! Where are you, Snoopy? Where are you? Wait a minute. I don't even have Snoopy in my house, actually, even though I have a dog named Noelle, which she's not in my room, actually, right now. So, yeah. Which, speaking of Snoopy, today, guys, I'm going to be doing my movie review to honor its 10th anniversary, and this time it's going to be on the Peanuts movie. So, yeah, guys. So, I'm going to go over here now and say, cue the intro, actually, which, man, I cannot believe that this movie did turn 10 years old this year on November 6th of 2025, which, yeah, I know that this movie did came out on November 6th of 2015, which, man, time goes by very fast, actually. So, yeah. So now, guys, I'm going to go right over here now and say, cue the intro, actually. So, yeah, which, speaking of which, I am going to be doing right now. So, yeah. So, cue the intro. I mean, this year is the 75th anniversary of the Peanuts, actually, which, yeah, even though that this movie actually was released on the exact same time that the Peanuts actually did turn 65 years old, actually, which I know, man, time goes by very fast, actually, which, yeah, and yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, this movie, man, I mean, did came out 10 years ago. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's really crazy that this movie did came out in 2015, actually, which I did turn 12 in that year, which this was the movie that I actually saw in theaters, actually, on during my birthday, actually, on Sunday November 8th of 2015, which, to be honest, guys, so yeah, guys, so now I'm going to be reviewing this movie on my channel right now, so yeah. So, without further ado, let's get this started. So, yeah. So, without further ado, I'm going to be reviewing this movie right now. So, yeah. Hey guys, this is Evan's Disney's Film Pictures Sound 25 here, and today, guess what, guys? And today, I'm going to be doing my movie review, and this time it's going to be on the Peanuts movie. Came in the year of 2015. So, yeah, guys, so I'm going to read this plot on the internet right now. So, yeah, guys, so basically what the plot's about, life always seems complicated for good old Charlie Brown, who tries to is his best friend against seemingly impossible odds, and also when the little red-haired girl moves to his neighborhood, Charlie Brown develops a crush on her. Meanwhile, his best friend Snoopy embarks on an epic adventure in a fantasy world as a World War One flying ace. The lovable Beagle Purchase and his nemesis, the Red Baron, and also while also trying to win the heart of the beautiful poodle named Fifi. So yeah. So that's basically what the plot's about this movie. So yeah, guys. So I did remember that this movie actually came out so yeah, guys. So I did remember that the iPad just kept glitching, but yeah, which I don't know why it does that, but yeah, it has had that in some of my videos. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I did remember that this movie actually came out. I did remember that this movie did had its world premiere in New York City on November 1st of 2015, and it did get released theatrically in theaters in the U.S. on November 6th of 2015, and even though the Peanuts movie did get released in the UK on December 21st of 2015 as well, which yeah. And I know this movie has a $99 million budget, actually, which yeah. And also, this movie is actually directed by Steve Martino, who also did direct Horton Hears a Who, and also, and he also did direct, yes, he did direct, Dr. Seuss's Horton Hears a Who, and even he did direct, and he also was one of the directors of Ice Age Continental Drift, which, yeah, and yes, he did direct this movie as well, and also, yeah, even though, even though fun fact, I am gonna read this right now, which yeah, so even development on the film began in 2006, 6 years after the death of Charles Schultz, and the final release of the last Pants comic strip. Greg Schultz, the son of Charles Schultz, pitched a film idea to his son, Brian Schultz, and also 20th Century Fox and Blue Sky Studios announced the development on a computer animated film in October of 2012, a year after Happiness is a Warm Blanket, Charlie Brown, with Martino directing. But due to his faithfulness of the style of Dr. Seuss, who's in the film, Horton Hears a Who, the comic strip would be featured in the film as Charlie Brown's skiing pond, his house, also the wall, and also Lucy's psychiatrist booth, and also booth as well, and as the Snoopy and Woodstock's voice tracks from Bill Melendez, and also yeah, and even though the score of this movie was actually composed by Frozen composer Chris Buck, by Christopher Beck actually, which yeah, and also yeah, even though also yeah, and also even though fun fact, I did know that the Pianist movie was originally going to be released on November 25th of 2015, but it got moved up to November 6th of 2015 as well, which yeah, and also yeah, even though on June, even though I'm not gonna read all of it because that would take forever, but that's okay. So yeah, but also yeah, even though on January 8th of 2013, Lane Annie Bernstein became the managing director of the Peanuts Worldwide, and set to control all of the global film deal, the global deals of the film. And also in April of 2013, Fox announced that the film would be released in 3D, and also, but in October of 2013, it was also announced that Paul Feig would also be producing the movie as well. Which yeah, even though by April of 2015, 75% of the animation was complete, with some footage being scheduled to debut at CinemaCon in Vegas. Which yeah, and also even though Martino and his animators spent over a year looking at Charles Diamond Short's original drawings style to help translate the hand-drawn warmth into a cool pixelated depiction of CGI without the fear of something getting lost in translation, such as the characters getting into visual aspects of CGI animation, and also the characters were animated on twos akin to stop motion, and also which yeah, this was actually yeah, before Spider-Verse we actually got this movie, which yeah, which I think this movie definitely deserves a lot more credit actually, which yeah, which I definitely think it definitely does deserve a lot more credit actually, which yeah, which even though as revolutionary as the Spider-Verse movies are, I feel like the Peanuts movie deserves a lot more credit actually, which yeah, with its animation, which yeah, also with then using usual traditions in computer animation, believing that the low frame rate stylized would be more compelling for the technical needs to fit the style of Charles Schwartz, which yeah, and also which yeah, even though also yeah, this was also, I forgot to mention that this was actually my most anticipated movie of 2015. But yeah, I mean, even though Inside Out 2 was my second most anticipated movie of 2015, even though Inside Out would be my favorite movie of 2015. But yeah, even though this was my most anticipated movie of 2015. But yeah, even though when I first saw the trailer of the Peanuts movie back in March of 2014, I was honestly surprised that I didn't even know that Blue Sky Studios was actually making a Peanuts movie actually. which yeah, I didn't even know that Blue Sky Studios was actually making a Peanuts movie, which I honestly didn't know that. I was really surprised that they were making a Peanuts movie, but I got extremely hyped about that. So yeah, they released a teaser trailer over like a year before the movie came out on the on which they did release the teaser trailer on March 18th of March 18th of 2015 actually, which yeah, and also yeah, even though Christopher Beck did score the movie, which yeah, which Beck stated that with the which yeah, which 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 yeah, even though I will talk about the score of this movie later, so yeah, and also yeah, and also yeah, which and also yeah, and also I was really hyped up for this movie, which yeah, and yeah, which this movie I'm really happy that this movie did live up to the hype actually, which yeah, which also yeah, and also I yeah, which yeah, I'm also yeah, which yeah, I was really looking forward to this movie. I mean, yeah, I was really hyped up for this movie. Which yeah, and also I remember seeing this movie in theaters on November 8th of 2015, and it definitely was a fantastic experience. Which yeah, I remember seeing this movie in theaters, and I absolutely loved it. Which yeah, and also yeah, and also I do remember the character of Fifi was actually voiced by Kristen Chenoweth. Which yeah, but this is actually not the first time that she was actually did something Peanuts related. She also played Sally in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown on Broadway, which she actually won a Tony Award for that. Which yeah, and also yeah, which honestly I was definitely really excited for the Peanuts movie because I was a big fan of the Peanuts and I still am actually. Which I'm a huge Peanuts fan actually. Which yeah, which I honestly love the Peanuts actually. Which yeah, which were part of my childhood as well. Which yeah, which I'm honestly a big fan of the Peanuts actually. Which yeah, the yeah, I am still a big fan of the Peanuts. I mean, yeah, adults can also love the Peanuts actually, but yeah. So yeah, guys. So but speaking of Kristen Chenoweth as in Fifi, which yeah, fun fact. I mean, this is not even though Kristen Chenoweth was also did play she was the original Glinda in Wicked, which yeah, on Broadway actually, which yeah, even though she voiced Fifi in this movie as well, she did play Fifi, which is actually Snoopy's love interest in the imagination of Snoopy, which yeah. So yeah, guys. So yeah. So enough said. So what do I think of this movie? I have to say this movie definitely does hold up really well. This is definitely a fantastic movie, and this is definitely my second favorite movie of 2015, right under my personal favorite movie of 2015 being Inside Out. Which yeah, I just absolutely adore this movie. Which yeah, this is definitely a really this movie is very faithful to the original comics. Which yeah, the one thing I will the one thing that I love about this movie is that it's very faithful and not trying to like throw in like pop culture references or and it doesn't even throw in like pop culture references or even or even it doesn't throw in like in, modern day setting like it doesn't like stick to the regular blue sky animation, but yeah, it's very the which we'll talk about the animation later, which yeah, which also yeah, which I love how this movie is very faithful to the Peanuts actually, which yeah, even though this movie is actually an hour and 26 minutes, even though this movie is basically um like yeah, when you do take out the credits, the movie it's actually an hour and 15 minutes actually, but yeah, which honestly the movie doesn't need to be that long actually, which yeah. But yeah, even though this movie is G-rated actually, which yeah, and I love how this movie is very faithful to the Peanuts actually, which yeah, which I love how the one thing I do love about the Peanuts movie is that I really love how faithful the movie is. I really love how faithful the movie is actually to the original comic strips, which yeah, and cartoons actually, and even the specials as well, which yeah, and also even the ending of this movie where on the last day of on the last day of school, Snoopy, on the last day of school, Charlie Brown is surprised that the little red-haired girl who chooses him for a pen pal uh, as a part of the school project during the summer, and also Linus encourages is Linus encourages Linus congratulates Charlie Brown to tell the little red hair girl how she feels, and encourages Charlie Brown to tell the little red-haired girl how he feels about her before she leaves for the summer, and also working up his courage, and also Snoopy actually meets the little red-haired girl just as she is about to leave for summer camp, and also asks why she chose him to split his previous failed attempt to impress her, and also the little red-haired girl also the little red-haired girl also expects explains to him that she admires his honestly selfless and determined and determination. And also this causes the other kids, including Lucy, to congratulate Charlie Brown and finally accepts him as a true friend. But yeah, which honestly, that was honestly really heartfelt. But yeah, it also does translate to the original comic strip. But yeah, that ending right over here where Lucy says good old Charlie Brown, that was also a really that scene was also really heartfelt as well. But yeah, and also and also and also this, I forgot to mention the song Bitter When I'm Dancing. That song from that song from that song from Megan Taylor was very catchy as well. But yeah, that song was also really catchy. It still holds up to this day. But yeah, even though this movie did receive positive reviews from critics, which I know that the critics did praise it for its faithfulness with source material, and also it also was the 7th highest grossing animated film of 2015, including it also received nominations for Best Animated Feature at the Annie Awards for Best Animated Feature, and also did receive the Golden Globe, the Critics' Choice Award for Best Animated Film. It also was the first Blue Sky movie to get nominated for a Golden Globe. Also the first Blue Sky movie to get nominated for a Golden Globe, which and also for Best Animated Feature, which even though it didn't get nominated for an Oscar, which even though thankfully Inside Out 2 was nominated, Inside Out was nominated and it won actually, so which it definitely did deserve actually, but and also and even though and also fun fact, this is actually the first Peanuts movie since Born by Charlie Brown and Don't Come Back, which I'm planning on reviewing next year on my channel, which stay tuned for that as well. Which and also and also even though I'm not gonna talk about all the scenes in this movie, but that's okay. So and now let's talk about the music and the score of this movie, which is actually composed by Christopher Beck, which honestly, his score of this movie definitely was fantastic in this movie. But he definitely did capture that the original Vince Guaraldi score in his original Peanuts specials. Actually, it definitely does capture it so well in this movie. But and also and now let's talk about the music and the score. Let's talk about I already talked about the music and the score, which now let's talk about the animation of this movie as well. Honestly, it still holds up to this day. 10 years later, it's still absolutely phenomenal and very fantastic at the exact same time. Which honestly, I really love how the animation of this movie is very faithful to the original comic strips and even television specials. Which I really love how it's very faithful. Which honestly, I really love how the animation is very faithful to the original Peanuts. Which it combines 2D animation and 3D animation, which the animation of this movie definitely does feel like a hand-drawn animated film. And before Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse movies, we have gotten this, which honestly I feel like it deserves a lot more credit, just as much as the animation in the Spider-Verse films. Which honestly this movie's animation definitely does predate in Spider-Man 2 Spider-Verse, even though we did get Paperman and Feast, which were made by One Mission Studios, which were shorts actually, which also had amazing movies that combine 3D and 2D animation as well. Which and I feel like this deserves a lot more credit actually. The animation of this movie looks very gorgeous. Even though if you don't count Nimona, because even though it did start out as a Blue Sky movie, even though half of the movie was animated at Blue Sky, even though it did shut down over a year, even though Nimona was canceled at first, but it did move to Netflix, and also Dean Egg actually animated the rest of the movie, which but also my favorite Blue Sky movie is definitely The Peanuts movie, which, yeah, I just absolutely adore this movie. This is definitely a fantastic film, but yeah, the animation of this movie still holds up to this day. It's absolutely phenomenal. I love how this movie looks. I mean, it looks really gorgeous as well. So yeah, I mean, I love how faithful the animation is to the original Peanuts. So yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I forgot to talk about the characters in the movie, like Nora Snap as Charlie Brown was also great in the movie, even though the rest, and even also Lucy and even Sally and even Linus and even Pepper and Patty and even Marcy and even Franklin and even Schroeder and Patty as well and Violet were also really good characters in this movie. Which honestly, I'm about to talk about Snoopy, which he's also my favorite character in the past. He's absolutely adorable. Which I didn't know that they actually used unused recordings of Bill Melendez's voice of Snoopy, which honestly was really creative as well. Which yeah. So overall, guys, I have nothing else to say about this movie, the Peanuts movie. So yeah, guys, so if you haven't seen the Peanuts movie, where I've been, I would recommend it. So yeah, it is streaming Disney Plus. So yeah, guys, so I'm gonna give the Peanuts movie a 10 out of 10, spectacular. So yeah, guys, so what do you think of my movie review on the Peanuts movie? So yeah, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe to my channel, and make sure to like this video. So yeah, guys, so stay tuned for my two of my movie reviews coming out this Friday with In the Heights and The Wizard of Oz, which will be coming out on Friday, November 14th on my channel, and also stay tuned for my movie review on Wicked this Saturday on November 15th of this year. So stay tuned as well. So yeah, so I'll see you guys there, and bye.